Tonight, we want to begin with a story we are following for you to do with the wife of the Vice President, Samira Bawumia. She has assured business leaders and private sector operators that government is committed to improving the economic fortunes of the country. According to her, some interventions by government have begun yielding results to allow businesses to thrive. Ms. Samira Bawumia was speaking at the 5th anniversary dinner and awards night of the France Chamber of Commerce in Ghana.
The private sector is always regarded as the engine of growth due to the role it plays in the Ghanaian economy. Though the city is facing severe challenges with the major trading currencies, government has assured it will create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. According to Samira Bawumia, government is committed to improving the economic fortunes of a country.
The impact of your activities is well recognized, not only by the government, but by the Ghanaian and non-Ghanaian business communities. And I'm confident that we can count on the continued support of CCI France Ghana. To all of you business leaders here today, be assured that this is the best time to invest in Ghana. Together, when we join hands, we can further the economic and trade partnership and cooperation. So to this end, I say Aiko or félicitations to the CCI France Ghana.
The event saw producers of Supersem Cement, CBI, Imagine, the Best Company of the Year, EcoBank Ghana, Best Digital Project, and Casapreco, Awake Mineral Water, being the Corporate Social Responsibility Product of the Year.
We believe in the market in Ghana. That's why we have invested. We are thankful to all our partners, the financial partners, our bankers, also the government of Ghana, which helped us in investing in Ghana. And through this journey, it has not been easy, but we went through it and we had a very good experience and a good time investing in Ghana.
The EcoBank is the bank. EcoBank is the Pan-African bank. We've come a very long way in terms of banking, and I would say we won the prize for the best digital project. As we are all aware, the EcoBank digital service is what's up now. That's what's in vogue now, actually. And EcoBank is trying very hard to make it very convenient for our customers to be able to access banking services from the comfort of their homes. And this goes to show that we've done a very good job.
One for Life, Awake Purified Water, where we give a peswa of every bottle sold to the Kolebu Cardiothoracic Unit to support people with all various degrees of heart problems. So we say a big thank you to everybody who has helped us, especially to our consumers, who without them we can't do this, because then again they have to buy the product for us to get that one peswa that we are donating to the Kolebu Cardiothoracic Unit.
The event brought together some captains of industry and a section of the international business community. Ebenezer Sabute's report for Joy Business.
Tonight, yet again, another assurance from the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. He's given firm assurance that government would institute fresh measures to help sustain the city's recent marginal stability. This after the local currency gained 30 pesos in value, selling this morning at 5 cedis 60 pesos. Now, our checks show that as of this afternoon, it remained stable against the dollar, which is unprecedented. Well, Mr. Ofori-Atta has also been highlighting some of these new measures that could check demand for dollars.
As you know, we went through Parliament with the bridge finance, and that has been concluded. So the central bank, has that money. Cocoa Board also concluded its 300 million facility. So that's nearly $1 billion. And that's coming. The Eurobond roadshow is going well. We'll be in London for the final meetings on Monday, and we expect to have a very successful flotation of $3 billion. So I think, with that and the fundamentals being as good as they are, we expect a reversal in stability. I think maybe the confluence of things in the first quarter. I.e., the first quarter is usually where the pressures are for dividend and coupon externalization, trade flows, etc., compounded by strengthening of the dollar. And I think for us specifically is the issue of concluding of the IMF program maybe has led to some uncertainties by the investor community. But I think what we are doing now will reverse it. But more significantly for us as Ghanaians is to realize that exchange rate is a price, which means just demand and supply. And really we should look at the structure of our current account so that we are not an import-dependent country. Because once we eliminate that, the yo-yoing of the CD will be eliminated, and that's the key thing. So what we are doing is that we are going to have a comprehensive review very soon of all of our port charges and statutory charges there to make sure that we are the most efficient port and most competitive port so we don't import in inflation from outside. And that is going to be done in the next few weeks.
Honorable, when you spoke to us in Parliament, were you looking through the crystal ball?
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta there. Don't forget that he's given a 2-week timeline when we expect some cash inflows to stabilize the city. Now, let's move on to other stories. Tonight, Director of Human Resources and Capacity Building at the Bank of Ghana, Gloria Korte, has called on investors to consider channeling parts of their corporate social responsibility budget to the health sector. She made the call in an interview with Joy Business after the employees of the bank donated about 100,000 cedis to the Ghana Heart Foundation to support funding of its operations.
Bank of Ghana's employees set up the Bank of Ghana Health Foundation to support health facilities and individuals. According to the Ghana Heart Foundation, it pays about half of a charge for every patient with a heart disease, a situation that needs support from both private and public sector institutions. Director of Human Resources and Capacity Building at the Bank of Ghana, Gloria Korte, explains the need for the support.
In this particular presentation, we are making 100,000 Ghana cedis available to the Ghana Heart Foundation to help in the treatment of patients. At least they have tried to fund 50% of costs of medical treatment for people needing it, whether it's a heart, a hole in heart, or any other complicated heart diseases. And that is what they have continued to do, and that is why we are supporting them.
After receiving the fund, Executive Director of a Cardiothoracic Center, Dr. Ajiman Srebo, appealed to the general public to emulate the Bank of Ghana employees in the gesture.
Always appealing to every Ghanaian and every organization to come and help in our bid to provide heart health to our patients. The problem is enormous. If you don't have somebody close to you who has a heart condition that requires surgery, you may think that it is far, but it is very near everybody. And there are so many Ghanaians who actually will benefit from our services, but who cannot afford it.
Ebenezer Sabute's report for Joy Business.
Today is World Consumer Rights Day. Now, in a release to mark the day, CATS Ghana, a research and public policy think tank, has called on regulatory bodies to be proactive and implement already existing regulations to protect the interests of consumers against bad services and inferior goods in the absence of a functioning consumer protection law. Country Director of CATS Ghana, Apiakusi Adumaku, spoke with Emmanuel Abuajiri on the marketplace. All right, apologies. We'll fix that sound issue and get that story back to you. But the public is being cautioned to avoid the purchase of counterfeit and fake phones to avoid challenges with the quality of network services enjoyed from their operators. According to the CEO of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Ken Ashigbe, this has become necessary to ensure customers are not only protected, but to enable government get its due in taxes. He spoke to Joy Business at the celebration of the World Consumer Rights Day by the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications.
Since the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, 1 out of every 5 phones on the market is fake. Regrettably, the use of fake phones tend to impact quality of service network operators offer to their customers, thereby leading to poor user experience. It is against this backdrop that CEO of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Kenneth Ashigbe, is advising customers to purchase mobile phone devices from original shops to avoid the challenges that come with fake phones.
One of the major challenges that confront us in this part of the world is a lot of the fake phones that are on the market. They are generally lower quality. The level of protection that should be in it, even for radiation, is not well done. The components themselves are cheaper. So in as much as you might spend, maybe you would say that you might not spend that much money at the beginning to buy it. The total cost becomes more. You might have to replace it. Your batteries, the problems with the batteries and all of that. So it is important for all of us that we ensure that we get the quality phones. And also, fortunately for us, the NCA as regulators now have labs where they test a lot of these devices. So the devices that come through the proper channels are tested and they are certified to ensure that not only do they meet the standards elsewhere, but the Ghanaian standard as well, they meet them.
Ken Ashigbe was speaking at the Chamber's celebration of the World Consumer Rights Day, which sought to educate the public on how to stay safe in the telecom space. Mr. Ashigbe further urged customers to take advantage of the new national identification cards to register all their SIM cards.
We are urging Ghanaians that we should ensure that when you want a SIM card, make sure that it is registered in your name, so that when something happens and you want to change it, you are able to replace it. Also, it will help in times of when crimes are committed. You don't know who that card has been, whose ID has been used in registering the number. If the person goes to commit a crime, you are the person who is going to be the focus. So it is really, really important that everybody ensures that you've registered your SIM card and you use the right IDs to be able to do it. And we encourage people now that once NIA comes into your neighborhood and you register, use that as the card in doing your registrations.
Meanwhile, guest speaker at the event, Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram, Sam George, expressed government's commitment to support the industry with the right legislations.
And so we'll continue to put pressure through the Chamber of Telecom to ensure that the telcos, the MNOs, deliver good quality. However, we will also support you when it comes to legislation to fight SIM box fraud, to fight the fake SIM cards that are in the system. Because when that happens, it affects the consumer and it affects the MNOs also. And so at the end of the day, we'll continue to work consultatively with you.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklu.
Still on World Consumer Rights Day, we've been talking about a release issued by CATS Ghana, a research and public policy think tank, calling on regulatory bodies to be proactive and implement already existing regulations to protect the interests of consumers against bad services and inferior goods. We can now listen to that interview that the country director of CATS Ghana, Apia Domako, had with Emmanuel Bajiri on the marketplace.
The NCA Act has a section that talks about consumer protection law. The NPA, the FDA, the PURC, and all of these regulatory bodies, they stand in between the service providers and the consumers. And we expect that they not only look at the economic side of their regulation, but also the consumer protection aspect of it. Even the Almighty Bank of Ghana, its law is also requires that they also protect consumers, and that kind of I've not seen a lot when it comes to regulatory bodies doing work on consumer protection in the country.
Right. So you are actually advocating, a law specifically for consumer protection and also to promote the interests of consumers.
Currently, the draft law, which was drafted, the process started far back about 30 years ago, but the good news is that Parliament has it's been listed as part of bills that will be looked at this year by Parliament, and we hope that by the end of the year we should get this law passed. If you have an ATM with your banks, the bank charges you a flat fee. I pay 5 cedis every month for usage of my ATM card. Sure. And then if I want to go and withdraw money from my bank, and then the ATM is down, Because it's a visa, I have to go to another visa, a third-party visa machine to use to withdraw the money. And then when I go, I will be charged an extra 10 cedis for using a third party's ATM machine to withdraw the money. And in our research, about 23% of the time, ATM machines are down. So it means that the Bank of Ghana has to ensure that consumers get kind of relief.
You're watching Business Live. Now, the African Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has recommended that the power distribution company, PDS, should invest in buffer infrastructure to strengthen or to sustain smooth power supply to consumers. This follows recent power outages in the past few days, which have contributed or have been attributed to the diversion of a grid co-transmission line due to road construction works. Now, head of the policy unit at ACEP, Pauline Anaman, joins us via Skype to throw more light on this issue. So you call for the establishment of buffer infrastructure. Let's begin from there.
Has a certain value chain. Now, this value chain begins from generation through transmission to distribution. And because of the interconnectivity of these various value chains, whenever there's an issue at any point, the consumer suffers. So what that means is that we need a certain alternative way of ensuring continuity in power supply to consumers, even when there are situations like what we are facing currently. So the point about PDS ensuring that there's a certain buffer is basically to say, well, PDS is now in the system. It is correcting the inefficiencies of ECG. We expect PDS to provide access to power, ensure that there is access to power, ensure efficiency in the system, and make sure that consumers are satisfied. Now, according to the agreement, the first 5 years of PDS presence here must ensure that we see about $580 million investment in infrastructure and anything that would ensure that the consumer is satisfied. So if we have this situation, this gives us an opportunity to alert PDS that there is a certain gap in the system that they need to correct. And that is having a certain buffer, having a certain power storage, for lack of a better word, that is independent of the existing system. So that when there is an efficiency at any point, or when there is a technical or even a non-technical challenge that could affect the consumer at the receiving end, PDS can supply power from the buffer while we try to fix the problem. If we don't do this, if PDS does not do this very critical investment, we would continue to see what we are seeing.
Can we or can the PDS afford it, knowing that it has debt issues to fix?
Well, PDS was selected because it is a company that is capable of investing in the sector to ensure that there is efficiency and to ensure that there is access to power. Currently, what is happening is some people don't have access to power. So there's a question mark on what is happening at PDS end. But let's be fair to them.
Yeah.
PDS only barely built. So this is just an indication to them that if you have to invest $580 million into the distribution chain, then start thinking about things like buffer.
And I guess also that the expectation for PDS is very high because already, as you indicated, public sentiment is that we brought you in to fix the situation and we didn't expect to have these challenges very soon. But, I mean, from ACEP's point of view, do you have confidence in the work that PDS, or do you have confidence that PDS can execute the mandates they have been given?
So we don't have full details about the full criteria for selecting PDS. But what we know is that we're looking for a company that can address ECG's inefficiencies. So if PDS has been selected, then it can presume that they are in that position to deliver what we are looking for. So based on this, from this premise, we would expect that PTS is able to, deliver on their contractual terms.
Okay.
So what is doing is to monitor the process, monitor their delivery, right? So once it is selected, we hope that they can deliver upon their contractual obligations.
All right. Thank you very much for your time tonight. You had Pauline Anaman. She works with ASAP, speaking about the recent power outages that we have experienced in parts of Accra. Now, that'll be it for Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching as always. My name is Darryl Kwa. We are back same time next week, but there's more news on our website, joybusinessnews.com. Thanks for watching.